The USDA says it will not tap into a contingency fund to pay for SNAP benefits because they say that's reserved for things like natural disasters.
In 1965, CBS shocked everyone when it fired Eric Fleming and 4 other Rawhide stars in one summer. They pushed Clint Eastwood to the lead role but refused to pay him more. Just 13 episodes later, the show was dead. But the real story is darker than anyone at CBS wanted to admit. Fleming and Eastwood's rivalry wasn't just professional, it was personal, and it nearly ended in a brawl behind a fence in Arizona. The producer called Fleming a miserable human being, staging fake screen tests just to torment him. And only 6 weeks after being fired, Eric Fleming drowned in Peru while filming. His body later donated to a medical school and buried without a name. This is the untold story behind Rawhide. The rise and fall of a show that once ruled Friday nights across America. Charles Marquis Warren didn't stumble into Rawhide by accident. He built it from scratch, pulling inspiration from his own film Cattle Empire and a forgotten 1866 cattle drive diary by George C. Duffield, which described brutal realities like stampedes, drowning cowboys, and endless hunger. Warren wanted grit and danger, not romance, and he knew how to get it. Drawing from his success, producing and directing the first season of Gunsmoke, his credibility made CBS believe instantly. The network wanted another hit, and Warren delivered something different, a Western that moved. While other shows stayed stuck in one dusty town, Rawhide pushed forward across deserts, rivers, and chaos, episode after episode, showing the real dangers of the trail. He almost called it Cattle Drive, but changed it to Rawhide because he wanted something sharp, something that cracked like a whip and stayed in your mind. It worked. When Rawhide premiered on January 9, 1959, it shot straight into the Nielsen Top 20. Eric Fleming didn't always look like a rugged cowboy. As a Navy Seabee during World War II, he smashed his face trying to lift a 200-pound weight, breaking his jaw, nose, and forehead. After multiple surgeries, that same injury gave him the hardened features that made him perfect for the role of Gil Favor. Clint Eastwood's audition was no less legendary. He forgot his lines, ran into the frame, and started yelling in pure emotion. It wasn't in the script, but Warren saw something real in him, and that rawness landed Clint the role. Yet behind the scenes, things weren't as heroic as they looked. Warren manipulated his cast with fake replacements, using fear as a management tool. He soon left the show, but his ruthless fingerprints remained. Eastwood, stuck playing the naive Rowdy Yates, hated his own character, calling him the idiot of the plains. That frustration would drive him to accept Sergio Leone's offer to film in Italy, where he reinvented himself as the tough gunslinger the world now remembers. Still, Rawhide was more than gunfights. It was a series that pushed television boundaries. Episodes tackled morphine addiction, racism, and the brutal truths of life after war. Robert Culp played a morphine-addicted veteran in an episode so controversial that CBS nearly pulled it. Woody Strode's story as a black soldier caught between white and black prejudice was studied by universities years later. Eric Fleming himself wrote episodes that gave women power on the trail and challenged male hierarchies long before feminism hit primetime. This wasn't just a Western. It was a mirror of America in turmoil. Sheb Wooley, who played Scout Pete Nolan, lived a double life as a country music star. While filming Rawhide, his novelty song The Purple People Eater had already sold over 3 million copies. Hidden behind that fame was another secret. He was the voice behind Hollywood's most famous sound effect, the Wilhelm scream, heard in Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and hundreds more films. Few fans knew that the man riding alongside Clint Eastwood and Eric Fleming was also echoing across cinema history with one single scream. But fame didn't protect anyone from what came next. By 1965, tensions on set had hit a breaking point. Fleming's temper clashed constantly with Eastwood's calm silence. Crew members described the atmosphere as walking through a minefield. Fake fights, real grudges, and exhaustion tore through the camp. When CBS finally axed Fleming, they thought Eastwood could carry the show. But even Clint knew it was over. Ratings had plummeted from 6th place to 44th in just 3 years. The network moved Rawhide from its steady Friday night slot to Tuesdays, and that was the death blow. Viewers couldn't find it anymore. Production chaos didn't help. 5 producers came and went, each trying to save a sinking ship. Scripts lost focus, characters disappeared, and the original grit that made Rawhide special was gone. Fleming, once earning $200,000 a year, took one last gamble filming High Jungle in Peru. He was 41, newly engaged, and desperate for a comeback. But tragedy struck when he dove into a raging river for a scene and never resurfaced. Locals found his body days later, battered and unrecognizable. MGM canceled the film, and Fleming's remains were quietly donated for study and buried in an unmarked grave, far from Hollywood's lights. Back home, Rawhide limped to an end. CBS replaced its rugged cowboys with cheaper sitcoms like The Beverly Hillbillies and The Andy Griffith Show. The Western era was over, and so was the story of Gil Favor and Rowdy Yates. Clint Eastwood would go on to become one of cinema's greatest legends, but Rawhide was where he learned to endure, where he first fought for respect, and where a forgotten cowboy named Eric Fleming gave everything, including his life, for a dream that vanished in the current. The story of Rawhide isn't just about television. It's about ambition, rivalry, and the high price of fame in a world that moves on without mercy. So if you enjoyed uncovering the truth behind one of TV's most dramatic stories, don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon for more untold stories from classic Hollywood.